Now I will teach you how to perform the relaxing tendons opening joints exercise. These exercises are designed to open the skeletal system of your body and help you to relax all of your tendons, relieving pain and facilitating the movement of all of your joints. These are wonderful for circulating your blood and qi and healing your joints, and hopefully you'll get rid of a few old aches and pains along the way. So let's begin. We'll begin with our head and neck. First off, stand up as straight as you can, putting your head directly up, level, as high as you can reach it. Now we're going to raise and lower our chin. All of these exercises with the neck should be done very gently. Good. Now I'm just trying to loosen my neck up. We're not going for a hard or deep stretch of any type. The second exercise is to rotate our head left and right. The goal here is not to tilt your head, but instead to relax the muscles or tendons which may be preventing it from turning. So we'll just gently turn our head to one side and then the other. Again, you don't need to do a hard stretch. You won't be pulling hard with your muscles. The main point is to turn and move and to loosen things up so they turn more freely, to relax a little bit. A very good way to do this stretch is also to turn your head to one side until you feel the range of motion is full, and then just take a deep breath and relax. And then turn your head to the other side, deep breath and relax. A few deep breaths on each side. Can really help you to loosen up the sideways rotation of your neck. Now we're going to tilt our head from side to side. The goal here is not to lift your shoulders or to tilt your shoulders, but to take your ear over and try to touch your ear to your shoulder. At the beginning, this may seem completely impossible that your ear might get over that far. That's not a problem. Just go ahead and start loosening up your neck, reaching from one side to the other. You may begin and your neck feels really rather stiff some days. And if it's making a lot of cracking or popping sounds, that's pretty normal. Don't be too alarmed. Go ahead and start loosening up your neck. One way that I like to do this is also to just go at the very top of my neck first, right where my skull is resting on top of my neck. I'm just gently tilting from side to side. And then I'll go down to my mid-neck area and try and flex right in the middle of my neck. So this feels very different from doing the very top of your neck. Now the third place is to go sort of at the base of the neck, right where your neck and your shoulders are meeting, and see if you can get some movement at the base of your neck. Now that you're starting to loosen up those three different areas, you can combine them. So you're reaching over from the top, the mid, and the base of your neck, stretching your whole neck side to side. If you have neck pain or neck problems, be very gentle with these exercises. Think about approaching it slowly, gradually, improving your flexibility, relaxing a little each day. Don't overdo it the first day, or you might be rather sore and tight the next day. It's better to progress gently, easily, exercise a little bit, and then rest, exercise a little bit more later, do a little bit each day, and gradually build up. Now we will loosen up our shoulders. The first exercise will be shoulder circles. So here we go. Bring your shoulders forward, then up, back as far as you can go, and then down. The goal is to make a large circle with your shoulders. Our collarbones and shoulder blades both have a pretty large range of motion, but it's easy for them to get tight if we don't use the range of motion in daily life. So this simple exercise can help you to get your shoulder blades and collarbones moving. Good, let's reverse directions now. So I'm going back, up, forward, and down, making the largest circle I can. And again, if your shoulders pop, a little bit or you hear clicking sounds, that's really pretty normal, and they should go away as you loosen up more. Okay, that's our first loosening up the shoulder exercise. The second one, we're going to touch our shoulders to our ear. In this case, we'll try not to tilt our spine or to tilt our head, but instead to simply lift our shoulder up towards our ear. And at the beginning, this may not be very easy to do. And it may seem like your collarbones or shoulder blades really won't move that far. But gradually start moving them up and down, loosening them up, and you'll find that the range of motion will expand a lot as you relax. One other nice thing that you can do is with your fingertips, you can massage down the side of your leg, just where the seam on your pants is. And you can massage down over your knee and make the shoulder go a little bit low on each side. At this point, you're massaging the iliotibial band on the side of your legs, and this helps to relax and balance your knees. This is also a very important part of your gallbladder channel, gallbladder meridian, and it's a nice sort of little mini acupuncture, acupressure treatment you're giving yourself here on the sides of your legs. So now that we've done that one to loosen up our shoulders, we're going to continue. And this is a gentle stretch of the whole body, but it does use the shoulder. So first we'll raise one arm up and we'll reach straight up, lifting and opening the whole side of our body. We take the other hand, we'll put it behind our back, putting the back of the hand on the floating rib area on the back side. This is pretty much where your kidneys are. And we're going to use the back hand to help support our back, support our ribs, and help us as we continue stretching and reach over a little bit. Lifting your heel feels really nice, and you get a gentle stretch of the entire side of your body. Let's come back to the center point. Now I'm going to raise my other hand up. I'm going to reach up high, stretching the side, opening the floating ribs. I'll place my hand on my back. We'll reach over, lifting your heel, stretching the entire side of your body gently. Lifting up, supporting your back with the other hand, then reaching over. You'll note that I'm not twisting my body at all. I'm really trying to stretch the side of my body. So I think about my little finger and my elbow leading my arm right along the plane of my head and the side of my body. I try not to twist at all. This gives you a better stretch on your ribs, the armpit area, the shoulder blade, all of those areas. Very good. Now we'll put our fingers together. I'm interlacing my fingers. We're going to make circles over our head here. This point is important to go behind your head. So go to the sides and make sure that you get your hands behind your head. Use this to stretch your rib cage. Stretch it on the sides, stretch the front of your chest, stretch the sides, stretch between your shoulder blades. Get a big stretch of the entire upper body, your rib cage, shoulders, everything. Very good. Let's reverse direction now. Again, remember to take your hands behind your head. Don't skip that part. That's important. Very good. Now we're going to twist our spine, unwind our spine, and relax a little bit. It's a very simple exercise, like all of these, but it has a profound effect on loosening your spine. Every vertebrae in our spine should be able to rotate horizontally. They should be able to turn and twist. Each of the vertebrae should also be able to tilt sideways and then front to back. They should have a number of ranges of motion. But because we sit so much in our daily life, and for a variety of other reasons, it's very easy for our spine to get a bit tight and for us to lose those ranges of motion in some of our vertebrae. This exercise is absolutely wonderful for helping you to loosen up your entire spine. There's no need to do it hard or fast. I like to do it in a gentle fashion and just sort of easily, comfortably open up my spine, release tension, relax my back. So the way we're going to do it is we're going to touch our hip and our shoulder. So I'm turning from the bottom of my spine up to the top. My knees turn just a little bit. It's not about turning your knees. My hips will turn a little bit, but it's not about turning your hips. We're actually thinking about getting the vertebrae of our spine to twist. We're going to move on now, and I'm going to show you the next exercise. But that simple twisting exercise we just did, at home, do it as long as you need to relax your back. If your back is really stiff, it might help you to do that exercise for 5 minutes or more. Just that one exercise, and it could release a lot of tension, and releasing tension usually decreases pain. Releasing tension is a fantastic way to open up areas that are pinching nerves and relieve that pinched nerve kind of pain. So if you have a really tight back, go ahead and do that one for a bit longer than we just did. Now we're moving on. Now we're going to circle our hips. And again, this is a very simple exercise that has absolute profound benefits on your health. And in particular, this will help your hip joints. And the problem for our hip joints is that they need to have a synovial fluid in the hip joints. And the synovial fluid acts as a grease for our hip joints. And it sort of cushions the hip joints, it nourishes the hip joints, it keeps the hip joints healthy. So all of our joints need to have synovial fluid. And a large joint, like the hip, needs to have more. Our body produces synovial fluid on demand. So that means the more that you use your joints, the more your body is signaling messages, sending messages to produce more synovial fluid. If you're not using your joints very much, the body assumes, oh, those joints don't really need to be maintained, they're not being used that much, we won't produce a whole lot of synovial fluid and send it to joints. So to maintain the health, we really want to use them. And when you're sitting in your normal desk chair, this is a position which tends to force the synovial fluid out of your hip joints. This exercise is designed, part of the effect of this exercise is to pump the synovial fluid back into your hip joints and keep your hip joints healthy. I also like using this exercise to loosen up my lower back, to help my lower lumbar vertebrae flex, and it's a much easier way to open up the backward range of motion of your spine than doing back bends or arches or other difficult, frightening stretches. So let's do these simple circles now with our hips. I'm concentrating on pushing my sacrum, that's the triangular plate of bone at the base of your spine. I'm pushing it in a circle. So I'm placing my hands on it in my back. I push my hips to one corner, forward, and then the other corner. So you try to make a large range of motion. Going back with our hips is relatively easy. It's the forward part of the circle which is more difficult, and that's the part that I want to emphasize with my movement. This is the movement that helps you to get the synovial fluid back into your joints. Good, now we'll reverse direction. For me personally, this exercise has been fantastic for me to loosen up my lower back and to help me to loosen up my hip joints and to relieve pain in my lower back and my hips. It's also very helpful for relieving the pain caused by the sciatic nerve being pinched. So this is a really wonderful exercise. If you take only one exercise out of the entire series, I would say this is the single most important exercise. If I was rushing in to compete at a martial arts tournament and I only had a few minutes to warm up and I had to get ready to compete, this is one of the exercises I would do, and I might spend the entire time doing only this one and neglect all the others. This one's fantastic for loosening up the whole core of your body. Now what we're going to do is we're going to start doing our knees, our ankles, and our toes. So to loosen up our knees, now I'll put one foot behind me, I'll put the other foot in front. I'm going to keep my legs relaxed, and in particular I'd like to keep my thigh muscles relaxed. That's why I'm putting my weight on the rear leg. So if my thigh muscles are relaxed, now I'll be able to come down to my knee and we'll be able to massage all around our knee. So I'm just going to massage around it. I'm going to let the warmth from my hands warm up the tendons and ligaments around the knee, and we just move the kneecap itself. Going both directions. Now we'll switch our feet to the other knee. I've seen quite a few other exercises for loosening up and warming up the knees, and all of those I found actually put strain on my knees before I was really ready for it. This is the gentlest, safest exercise to warm up and prepare your knees for more exercise of any I've ever tried. Now for our ankles and toes, we'll put our weight on one leg. If you need to put your hand on a counter or a chair or a table to help your balance, then go ahead. And I'm going to put my toe behind me. Putting your toe a little bit behind you will help you to make a circle. The idea is to have the very tip of your toe pointed straight down and then to make a circle above your toe with your ankle. This is a great way to loosen up your ankle. It also loosens up your toes a little bit. I find it's a little more comfortable if I have shoes on, but you can still do it if you don't. Go both directions. Good. Switching legs now, the other foot. Good, and our last exercise, we'll loosen up our wrists. So just make big circles with your wrists. This exercise helps you to release tension from your wrists and to let the tension from your shoulders and neck actually go all the way out of your hands. So go both directions, maybe shake out your hands a little bit. Now you've relaxed all of your tendons, you've opened your joints, and although these exercises appear very simple, they can relieve an incredible variety of aches and pains, help you to improve your posture, help you to realign your body, and to become far healthier. If you do these every day, they will have a great effect overall on your body, and over time they will help you to relax, to improve your blood circulation, to improve the circulation of qi, and to just generally improve your health. I hope you enjoy them. Now I'm going to teach you a Qigong exercise for your lungs. Qigong exercises combine breathing, focusing your mind, and movement to help move your qi or vital energy in a pattern that's healthy for you, much like getting an acupuncture treatment. And in this case, we're going to benefit your lungs. The lung meridian begins here at the very front of the shoulder. This area is known as the shoulder's nest. And if you reach your shoulder out and you're sliding your shoulder blade across the ribs a little bit, then this area will become hollow. If I'm flexing my chest and thrusting my chest forward, then the shoulder's nest is very full and hard, and it's not a hollow at all. But for the purposes of finding out where our lung begins, what we want to do is relax our chest muscle by extending the shoulder blade, and then right underneath our collarbone, this area becomes very hollow, very soft. And that's the source point of your lung meridian. Your lung meridian begins here, and then it travels along your arm out to your thumb and index finger. So that's the path that the qi flows through in your body, in your lung meridian. You have one on each side, they're both the same, they're both balanced. So in this exercise, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be opening and closing the source point of our lung meridian, and then helping to use the movement and our mind and our breathing to push qi down the lung meridian and strengthen our lung meridian, and thereby strengthen all of the functions associated with the lung meridian in Chinese medicine, including our breathing and strengthening our immune system. So here's how we begin. You're holding your arms out at shoulder's height. My feet are comfortably spread. My knees are a little bit bent. My lower back is a little bit relaxed. So try not to be tense overall. So now what we're going to do is, as we inhale, we're going to open the front of our shoulders, turn our hands backwards so our palms face up and our thumbs point behind us. So this opens this shoulder's nest area at the front of the shoulders. Now we're going to roll our shoulders forward again, turning our hands all the way upside down. So now our palms are again facing up and our thumbs are pointing behind us. So we inhale, opening the shoulder's nest. We exhale, closing. The idea is that the movement begins in your shoulders and then works its way down your arms, turning your forearms and hands last. So inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. That's a great way to get a little exercise for your shoulders too. So it's a very simple exercise. The effect is quite good. As you're doing it, you want to, with your mind, as you're inhaling, you imagine the chi is flowing down your arm to your fingertips. And with your willpower and intention, you try to feel your fingertips, especially your thumb and index fingers, as you're breathing the chi out. I hope you have a good time practicing this exercise and it provides you benefit. Do a few each day. 20 or 30 would be a pretty good maximum number. I wouldn't overdo it like anything. Once your shoulders start to get tired, that's probably a good number. If you feel like doing a few more, it's okay. Don't do 200 or 300 and think that it's going to cure every ill that you've ever had, though. That's the wrong idea with Qigong. Qigong is a slow, gradual progress. Do it a couple times a day, and it'll really help you. The next exercise is known as the butterfly. And this is a wonderful exercise for stretching and opening your chest and upper back. It's excellent for helping you to improve your breathing, to breathe deeper, to exhale more fully, and to learn how to coordinate your breathing with your body movements. As we do this, we'll be inhaling and pulling our elbows back and stretching our chest open. The idea is to use the movement to help you inhale more. So we'll be doing a long inhale, and at the end of it, we'll still be opening our chest and pulling our elbows back, and you keep trying to inhale. And then we're going to come around, and you'll see in a moment, we'll be leaning forward a little bit, and we'll be spiraling our arms and closing our chest and opening our back. And as we're closing our chest, we're going to try to exhale completely, fully, get all the air out of our lungs. Now, in reality, we never exhale fully or inhale fully. We always have a reserve of air in our lungs. This is really important that you maintain that reserve of air, but it feels like a very full exhalation and a very full inhalation. So that's our goal. So we'll start out with our feet together. We'll make our fists and pull them back up here on our ribs. You might feel like you're stretching your chest. That's just fine. So as we do the exercise now, we'll step forward. 1, 2. I'm going to reach down and back with my arms like this, engaging my back muscles. We'll make a large circle here, stretching and opening the area of the mid-back and between your shoulder blades. Now I'm beginning to touch the backs of my hands together. My fingertips are pointing downward. By touching the backs of my hands and fingertips together, that causes my forearm to rotate and my upper arm to rotate and my shoulder to rotate a little bit, and it helps you to open the area between your shoulders. And it really gives you a maximum stretch of the back, and it also helps you to relax and close the chest area. And this has a very similar effect of closing the lung meridian points that we learned about in our last metal lung exercise. So this is the position. Your fingertips are pointing downwards, your backs of your hands are touching. Now we will begin our exhale, stepping back, 1, 2, big circles, out in front, make fists, pull your elbows back, keep inhaling. Good, stepping forward, 1, 2, exhale, back of the hands touch, fingertips point downward. Inhale, stepping back, 1, 2. Stepping forward, we begin our exhale. We keep exhaling, we exhale fully. Now we begin our inhale. It's a long, slow inhale. You keep inhaling, stretching your chest, squeezing the area between your shoulder blades. Beginning exhale, continuing to exhale. The exhale finishes when your body stops moving. Begin the inhale. Inhale, exhale, Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. That's the butterfly exercise. The name comes from your arms making the shape of the butterfly as you go forward. You're sort of imagining that you're tracing the shape of your own butterfly wings. I love this exercise. If you have a lot of tension between your shoulder blades at the base of your neck, this is a great exercise to open that up. If you feel like your chest is tight, or sometimes people feel they have a lot of tension in the front of their shoulders, perhaps they've been doing a lot of work that requires them to be concentrated in this way, this movement, stretching and opening the chest, feels absolutely wonderful. You know, if you want to take deep breaths, you need to be able to move your rib cage. Your rib cage has to be able to open and close a little bit. Your ribs are designed to flex and move. These exercises will help you to restore the natural movement of your rib cage and of your spine. And with that freed up movement of the rib cage, then you can inhale and exhale more frequently. The other part that's very beneficial about all this is these are very important meridians that are around the rib cage. Our lung meridian, our heart meridian, the pericardium meridian. These are all very, very important meridians. So as you're doing these exercises, you're helping to strengthen and heal organs and strengthen their whole system as well. This simple exercise is called opening circles. It's a great way to energize yourself anytime. You know, you've been sitting at work and you know, you get a little stagnant there. You're not moving very much. The air in the room might be a little stagnant. This is a great way to just wake yourself up, get a little fresh air, get a few deep breaths going, revitalize yourself. Maybe you can go back to work and have a positive attitude, a new attitude, a little re-inspiration of your day. So we're going to spread our feet. We're going to bend our knees a little bit. We're going to just take our arms or make gentle curves with your arms. And then inhale as you stand up, reaching and extending big circles. And now as we bring our hands down, we're just going to sit down a little bit. Try and flex your knees right with your toes, then inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. Good, now let's reverse direction. So now we're going to open up very wide here. As we go down, we'll exhale, we'll inhale. You know, smiling helps. Feel better when you smile. So you can always smile when you're doing Qigong. And sometimes I do this when I think about, well, I'm having a party. I'm going to throw some confetti or some streamers or something up in the air. Let's all feel really happy. So take a moment, stand up straight, lift your head up, inhale, exhale a little bit, change your mood. Have a great day.